Tonight, advice on how to stay fit at 50.
How to keep your kids active throughout the summer.
And our guide to buying the perfect timepiece.
As always, this is Studio One.
Live from Dubai. Hello and welcome to the start of a brand new week here on Studio One, and also our last week on air before we take a break for the summer holidays.
Yeah, a well-earned break. Our last episode of the season, of season one that will be this coming Thursday at 7:30. But never fear, our faithful viewers, Studio One will be back in September, straight after the Eid celebrations, with a few exciting changes in store. So make sure you tune in throughout the week for a few hints of what's coming up.
Tonight, as promised, we'll be announcing the winners of 8 fantastic prizes.
How many?
That's 8, Tom. 8. You ready for it?
Come on then.
Including the Nokia E7 and the selection of eco-friendly Philips products. So keep watching because we could be reading your name out later on in the show.
But let's start tonight with a summer camp, which promises to entertain your kids and aims to help their fitness too. Clifford Tyndale is the founder of Core Direction and joins us here to tell us a little more. Clifford, thanks for being with us.
No problem at all. Good to be here.
Yeah, it's great to have you on. I mean, basically, we're taking a sort of look at the variety of summer camps that are available to residents that are sticking out for the summer here. What would you say sets yours and Core Direction's foundations apart from others?
Well, I think the main differentiating factor for us is the fact that we are actually a health and fitness company. Yeah. So our summer camp is very geared towards keeping the kids active, fit and healthy throughout the summer, through all elements, from the lunches that they'll eat to the activities that we do. So pretty much everything is going to be geared at the fitness element.
You mentioned the word active, which I know is core to your principles, the activity and keeping active throughout the day at any possibility. But come on, it's summer, it's hot outside, they're kids. Can't we just let them sit in front of the TV and on the computers throughout the summer?
Well, I mean, if you look at obesity and the obesity epidemic, I think we have to make a move now. We have to combat the obesity epidemic, and the best way to do that is to get the kids active and get the kids out there. And no one said that exercising has to be a chore or not fun. I mean, the activities that we have in our summer camp are all fun, and the kids that were on the camp last year really enjoyed it, and every day was another activity, something else that they got to enjoy, and something that made them want to come back day after day after day, and week after week.
So, I mean, obviously, video games and TV kind of defeats the purpose of summer camp, Tom. Yeah. So not quite the same. But what are specifically the activities that you have on offer there?
Well, as part of our company, we have personal trainers that work with the company. We also have a dance school. So the two main activities that we're going to be running is going to be dance classes, which is going to be everything from hip-hop to freestyle, contemporary, ballet, depending on the gender and the age group. We're also going to be doing musical theatre, which has been quite a big hit with our dance school. With the new series Glee, which is quite fun, and the kids seem to enjoy it. And then from a fitness side, we're going to be doing a lot of like ball sports and activities and fitness competitions and that sort of thing to get a competitive side, but also keeping it fun and exciting. And then also trying to introduce activities like gymnastics, which again, kids love, roly-polies on the floor and handstands and cartwheels and that sort of thing. So just keeping it exciting and fresh.
Right. And you've changed your format from the prior years that you've held this camp as well.
No, I think we've kept it pretty much the same. It's basically 4 or 5 activities throughout the day, so they get a bit of a taste of everything throughout the day. So
what time do they start?
8:30 in the morning, and then it runs through until 1:30 in the afternoon. So we do 3 activities, so 3 hours of activity, and then we have a lunch break, which is like a healthy buffet. Okay. And then we have the last activity of the day. I also forgot to mention that we do get them in the swimming pool for an hour. I know it's really hot at this time of the year. yeah, but we have to cool them down and also just.
Well, it wouldn't be summer
get them-
camp without some pool activities. It kind
Exactly.
of goes hand in hand.
Exactly.
But you do have smaller group sizes. I think that's what I had read. So you have
Yeah.
more focus on the individual campers.
Yeah, I mean, we have to take health and safety into consideration. I mean, it's really important. I have a child myself, and I know that the health and safety of my child would be my first priority. So we don't have any more than 15 kids in a group for our oldest groups, but the younger groups we have smaller groups with qualified health and fitness professionals or dance teachers looking after each group with another supervising adult as well. All of our instructors are CPR and level 1 first aid accredited, so they are in really, really good hands. So at least our parents have ease of mind.
And you encourage that interactivity, not just between your instructors and the kids, but kids themselves as well. I'm interested to find out, I mean, obviously kids learn different skills during summer camps, whether it be becoming an extra at the next season of Glee or something like that. But do you see them changing as individuals as well?
Well, I mean, sports and activities, and especially team sports, get the kids interacting between each other. And I mean, just that element creates self-confidence and people skills and intrapersonal and personal communication skills, which are like hugely important growing up. It also promotes cognitive development, which is the way that children process information. So in terms of rhythm and timing, which will be typical of something like dance classes, or moving into hand-eye coordination, which we do through the sports. So basically everything that you have to learn throughout your life, and getting involved in activities such as sports, gymnastics, musical theatre, dancing, is just going to speed up that process, which is quite good for building your children from every side.
Yeah, quite right. Have you got any places left on the Glee course or not?
I think you're a little bit too old.
Oh, come on.
No,
Maybe next year, Tom.
Yeah,
You got to sign up early, though. All right, put in a good word.
I must say we've got a good team of instructors and dance teachers, and so there is space, yes, and we can take on a few more kids, but obviously it is limited in terms of how many we can go up to.
Well, all those details are available on the website, coredirection.com. That's the website to get yourself onto. It's open for kids from the age of 4 all the way through to 12 years old. So get yourself on there, all the details, instructors, profiles, and more. Clifford, thanks very much. Enjoy the summer.
Thank you.
Now, tonight, you could win 2 one-week passes for your kids to attend the Core Dance Academy here in Dubai. If you'd like to enter, visit our Facebook fan page and write, "I was born to dance." The winner will be announced later on in this very show.
You were born to dance, were you, Saba?
I was.
I'm sure
Were
it's
you?
a little bit later on. Definitely not. Last Wednesday, we gave you the chance to win an at-home gift hamper, and it's time now to reveal the winner's name. And the winner is... Donera Bellon. Well done to you.
We also gave you the chance to win a selection of Core's products, and the winner's name is... Asher Ali. Congratulations. Now, it seems like you can't celebrate anything these days without having a cupcake. Birthdays, anniversaries, even passing your driving test.
I know, I just don't get it. It's the cupcake revolution. But how did they become so popular in the first place? They've made it big here in Dubai. In fact, all over the world at the moment. So what, when, where, why? Dina went out to find out more about cupcakes.
They may be simple baked goods doused in sugar in an array of colors, but in recent years, these mini treats have exploded in popularity. What was once reserved for kids' birthday parties quickly became an accessory for many women, an inspiration for fashion, and the trendiest kind of wedding cake.
It all started in 2008 when cupcakes became so hot that for an entire month they were found to be the most popular search on Google. And though it took a couple of years to reach the region, when it did, it took the UAE by storm. Dana, what triggered the cupcake boom in Dubai?
Well, you know, it started in the US when Carrie Bradshaw bit into that pink-colored cupcake. It really became a big hit. It was like a craze. People everywhere, all over the world, wanted some of those, you know, little miniature cakes. And I think slowly but surely it came to Dubai. And I think the Emiratis, who are so always on the pulse with everything that's hip and trendy and new, were lining up in the door before we even opened. They knew exactly what it was about. They were there. They had an idea about all the flavors. And, you know, it's been a big hit.
What do you think it is about cupcakes that has women so addicted?
Well, I think the fact that they're so miniature, it's almost like an accessory. And I think that's what drives people crazy. That they're, you know, first of all, the fact that there's so many different flavors. You don't have to stick to one flavor. Everybody has their favorite flavor, or they're customized, you know, individually made, tailor-made for you cupcake. I think that adds a lot to it. But believe it or not, you know, it's not just women who are really cupcake crazy. Men too, and kids.
To keep up in popularity, reinvention is key. And the latest surrounding cupcakes in Dubai is the Social Bakery.
Well, we created Mix, Batter and Bake. It's our new concept where we want people to come, kids, adults, young teenagers, to come and decorate their own cupcakes. But they have the chance to get a cupcake, to have their own cones, their own frosting, a variety of different sprinkles and toppings. And basically, they let their creativity loose. Well, for adults as well, we'll have workshops where they can learn how to bake different recipes, whether it's cookies and cupcakes, cakes, and also how to create different sugar toppings, fondant, and all these other methods which are very, you know, a bit more sophisticated type baking.
Cupcakers around the world continue to enjoy sweet success. But one can't help but wonder, cupcakes have already spent years in the spotlight. How much longer can it last?
After the break, Dr. Divine talks fitness at 50, and we get some expert advice on selecting the perfect timepiece.
We'll be right back after this.
Welcome back to the show. Now, living a great life after you turn 50 means working on your physical as well as mental well-being. So what in particular do you need to do, and what should you be looking to avoid to stay in tip-top condition?
Well, to find out more, Dr. Divine is back from his holes. He's here to answer your questions in this week's Sunday Surgery. And before we go any further, I just want to say congratulations and happy birthday, Dr. Divine.
Thank you.
I know it's not today, but passed the landmark of
Indeed.
50 last week?
Last Friday.
And still looking fit as a fiddle as well.
Where are the cupcakes, Tom?
Dina took them.
She did.
had
She
them
took
all.
all of them.
No,
Next
so
time
brilliant,
around.
amazing stuff.
Thank you.
Who better to ask about how to keep fit at 50, which is one of our main subjects this evening. But did you enjoy your birthday?
I had a great birthday.
Yeah?
Absolutely, yes.
Leave it at that, shall we? Let's turn to the topic of the day. We've got a lot of questions to get through from viewers, and we'll get into those in due course. But fit at 50, is 50 the new 60, the new 70, the new 80 as we get older in life?
Indeed. I mean, we are living longer than ever. The old days we retired at 60 because on average, or 65 because on average we lasted a year longer. So you were given a year to get your affairs in order and you were gone by 66. Nowadays, the average life expectancy is in the 80s or 70s and 80s in most well-developed countries. So we are living longer. In the UK, we have people, I used to have two ladies, both over 110, both living by themselves. Phenomenal ladies. And I think 50 is no longer the end ticket.
No.
Yeah.
Clifford was talking earlier on, it's having him capture the young ones that allows you to get to 50 as an easy milestone. I feel no different the day before I was 50 than the day after. And I think that's the mindset to do. One has to say, I'm still young at heart. My mind feels no different than it did over the last 30
What's
years.
the secret, Doc?
Yeah, well, I think
One
you know,
forgets things, I think.
that's a separate issue. No. But there is a lot of focus on health, well-being, people eating healthier diets, exercising, and that's kind of evolved so vastly over the past 20 years or so. There's so much focus on it. So, you know, taking all of that into consideration, what are the top things that you would recommend that people over 50 should be focusing on?
Well, I've got a very close friend that I work with, and he runs a longevity program, and the crux of his whole ethos is successful aging. We are all aging, but we can do that in one of two ways. We can age prematurely and have a very poor ill health last X 20, 30 years, or we can look after ourselves and really enjoy our later years. But it starts earlier than this, but now that we've reached 50, one needs to waste no time. There are certain medical things that are more common now than they were 20 years ago or when someone was 20 or 30. We think of prostate cancer, we think of bowel cancer, we think of high blood pressure, we think of cholesterol, we think of diabetes. All those things can be readily avoided to a greater or lesser extent by looking after ourselves. There are certain screening tests that we do for these conditions, and I think we need to avail ourselves of those services rather than get a nasty shock when things have gone too far or too late. If we go and see our doctor and say, look, doc, I'm 40 or I'm 50, what should I be doing now? What things should I be looking for? I don't want ill health, I want to avoid it, but are there certain things that it makes sense for me just to check on now? And I think blood pressure is the big one. We have no sense of our blood pressure, and yet if you take an average male with uncontrolled blood pressure, it will be the biggest single contributing factor to his death. Uncontrolled high blood pressure, more so than smoking, more so than cholesterol, more so than diabetes. Uncontrolled high blood pressure. And I think over the age of 40, we should take every opportunity to have our blood pressure checked at any stage, because as we get older, from our 20s to our 30s to our 40s to our 50s and so on, the incidence of high blood pressure increases.
We're going to get on to more of those if we can in just a little while. Before that, though, I just want to get to a couple of our viewers' questions that have been coming through today for the Sunday surgery. I'm just going to start with Fatia Nasser Hassan, who very kindly mailed in a little earlier on our Facebook page. With regards to surgeries, and how many surgeries is it safe to have? Suggesting either these are pre-elected or otherwise surgeries, but what's the effect of a surgery on health? And is there ever the case of having too many surgeries?
Well, I mean, there's nothing natural about having surgery. We are the only species in the world that ever operates on ourselves and each other. So the indications for surgery should be that there is some significant condition that can be remedied by surgery. Nowadays we have many people that have surgery for personal reasons, and again, that is, I'm not adverse to that at all, but I think we need to have a balance between the likelihood of the benefits that I wish from this surgery versus the potential risks. Nothing in medicine is risk-free. Now, the risk is minimal because you have well-qualified surgeons, you choose the right procedure, you have good anaesthetists, etc. But even in the best regulated circles, things don't turn out right. So there's no absolute number of how much surgery one should or shouldn't have, but I would certainly tell people that you need to consider, do I need this surgery? Is it important to me? Is it life-saving? Is it quality of life improving? So that you don't look back in 6 months' time and say, I wish I'd not started down this route because I'm worse off now.
All right. Just moving on, Doc, another topic that comes to mind when you think of people aging and getting into another stage, another chapter of life is menopause. And I know it's a very touchy subject for certain people, but can you give us a bit more insight on that?
Well, the menopause is when ladies end their period of being fertile. They talk about the male menopause being something similar. In terms of what women can do none of us can avoid it. I mean, if you look at primates of our shape and size, we were designed to last till we were 30. We've managed to buck the system. Our species is phenomenal. We now go on to our 70s, 80s, 90s and 100s. But with that, things wear out. And of course, the menopause, there's nothing natural about it because we were never designed to have one. We should have been long since dead, but we now manage to go on. But the ovaries wear out, stop producing eggs, and with that, levels of hormones change and go down. The most important thing to my mind is how do we combat that? And the HRT medication combats it. Nothing does it better than that, but it's, again, a very controversial subject. 10 years ago, everyone should be on it. Nowadays, we're far more discerning and think you should be on it if there are real benefits to you rather than just everyone. But the big thing, the other non-medical, medicinal thing that's been shown to be helpful is exercise. And any lady who's struggling and suffering from menopausal symptoms, get exercising. It's the one thing that's been shown to be beneficial.
Dr. Devine, Dr. Andrew Devine, Family GP at the City Hospital. Thecityhospital.com, that's the website you want to get on to get in touch with Dr. D and any of the team that have sat in the Sunday surgery throughout season 1 of Studio One. I think this, given of course being our last Sunday surgery of the current season, it's a fitting time for both Sam and myself to say thank you very much to you and all your colleagues for being here and answering the questions of all our viewers. So thanks.
Been a pleasure.
Enjoy your summer.
I will indeed.
And congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
Now, last Thursday, we gave you the chance to win a pair of Naturalizer eco-friendly shoes made from organic and sustainable materials. It's time to announce the winner, and they are Shazi Naush.
Well done to you, Shazi. I think it's time also to name the winners of those wonderful F1 in School goodie bags that we had, and they are... Congrats to Chanel Van Buren and Mohammed Nafi.
More winners coming up a little later on in the show.
Right, moving on. And if you'd like to find out how to join our growing community of viewers chatting and winning on our Facebook fan page, take a look at this. And the fun doesn't need to stop when the show's off air. Get yourself over to Studio One's Facebook page right now for all the latest from Sabs and I.
There you'll find all of our delicious recipes, exclusives for our viewers, and your chance to win amazing prizes.
It's also the best place to check out behind-the-scenes photos, chat with Studio One's global family of fans, and interact live with the show.
Go to facebook.com/Studio One Live and get involved now. Now, even the best-dressed men and women can get tripped up when it comes to buying the right watch. Watches can be complex, expensive, and there are a lot to choose from. So just what should you know when shopping for one?
What better time to shop than during the Dubai Summer Surprises ongoing at the moment? Well, here to give us a few pointers is Marketing Manager for Alpha Dame Watches and Jewellery, Anas Khan. Thanks very much for being with us.
Hi, how are you?
Yeah, very good indeed, thanks. And it's great that you're here with us because for some reason, that's all I've heard throughout the last weekend is watches. A lot of people are taking the opportunity at the moment during the amazing deals that you've got during DSSS to invest in a timepiece for the future. And I suppose that's what it is, isn't it? And that's it's an investment.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, watches, there are certain kinds of watches that last from generation to generation. You have a father handing down a watch when his son graduates, or you have a father giving a watch to his daughter when she gets married. So it's very much a part of tradition in a family or across generations.
So do you see, are there any sort of golden rules that you have to would-be customers, would-be clients about what to look for when buying a watch?
Well, I believe a watch is kind of like the status update of your wrist. I don't think there's just one watch that defines you. A watch kind of covers different parts of your personality. So for example, if you have a watch like Raymond Weil, which is a real power watch, you know, I mean, it's black titanium, it's a beautiful watch, great movement, Swiss design. This kind of watch expresses a certain amount of self-assertion and power. And it's the kind of watch you'd want to wear for an interview or something important. Then there are watches like a Seiko, which for me is like the iPhone of watches. The same way that Apple designs their software and hardware, Seiko makes everything themselves, right? I mean, from a screw to the movement to the dial to the strap, everything is made by Seiko, nothing is outsourced. So they give a lot of attention to detail. So it's a beautifully integrated watch. So this is the kind of watch you'd wear, you know, I mean, pretty much throughout the day. Then you have watches like Fossil. Now, Fossil is a really fun watch. So if you're out having fun or in a picnic or something like that, Fossil is really an ideal brand for something like that. It's got a really nice retro feel. What I really like about this watch is the tin boxes. Not every box is the same. I mean, every time you go buy a Fossil, you get a different tin box. And I think that's really quirky.
watch for every season.
It's a nice keepsake as well. You
Yeah,
can use it to
absolutely.
collect little memorabilia in. But you know, you mentioned it a little earlier. But you know, these watches, they do have sentimental value associated with them. So you have your special occasion watches. You have the the generational watches that you pass down through your family, and then you have your everyday pieces. But how do you know how much to invest in a watch in terms of cost?
Well, if it's the kind of watch that you want to hand down, then I think anywhere between 10 to 15 on a good watch with a brand name that you know and that's been around for a long time, that's really important. One of the best things about Raymond Weil is that it's a family business and it's been independent since it was created. What that tells you is that these guys, they own the brand. It's theirs. It's part of their family. So they're not going to start producing the piece that you paid 15 to 20,000 dirhams for in mass. They're going to keep it exclusive.
Yeah. You know, when you mentioned earlier about it's the sort of watch that you would wear to an interview or something like that, do people really judge other people on their watches?
Absolutely.
Really?
Yeah. It's especially with men, it's one of the first things that you notice. I've got my wrist covered.
Yeah.
Developments in timepieces and watches, I mean, it's constantly going on, but to a certain degree, I suppose, it's always going back to the past as well. I remember when, you know, calculator watches and battery-operated watches were all the fad, but now we're going back to hand-wound almost. Is there a development, an evolution?
Yes. The reason for that is actually really simple. In today, you don't really need a watch. You want a watch.
Right.
So people are kind of going the retro way. They're kind of bringing back the retro aspect of the watch.
Yeah.
And that's why you have a brand like Fossil. It's literally a retro brand.
Right.
So that's something you don't see just in watches. You see it in fashion as well.
Right.
That sense of retro is kind of coming back. So especially in watches, now it's less about technology, but more about what kind of feel you get
Well,
from the
I
watch.
don't know, guys. I appreciate these handcrafted, you know, pieces of beautiful technology machinery, but the digital watches are pretty hot and trendy right now. I've seen them around town, and it is a status thing. You'll see me rocking one this summer.
Yeah, I
right
like
too.
digital watches.
Yeah, quite right. Just finally, if we have to wrap things up, for viewers out there, they're going to treat themselves or somebody else during Dubai Summer Surprises. What would be your short piece of advice for them ahead of buying a watch?
Well, know exactly why you want to watch. I mean, how you're going to use it. If you're going to go hiking, don't buy a dress watch. Buy a watch for hiking.
You might get a little
So know what you
disappointed.
want.
Hey, Anas, thanks very much indeed for being with us. Listen, if you want to find out more about all the team down at Alpha Watches and Jewellery, just go to watches.ae. Very simple website, has all the information and more. Anas Khan, enjoy your summer. Thanks very much for being
Thank
with
you.
us.
Now time to announce some more of our
More?
winners. More they just
winners?
keep coming, Tom. They just keep coming. Starting with the hand-spun woolen cushion covers made in Bajar province of Iran. Our supercomputer has chosen someone at random, and that person is Summer Mahmood. Congratulations.
And you know what? We're not going to stop there. We're just going to keep them coming, keep them rolling, because next up we have that amazing set of Philips home products, which included a vacuum cleaner and even a kettle. And the lucky person to win this is Lynn Pereira. Well done to you, Lynn. Now, still to come on tonight's show, Ash picks out her top 5 movies of the week, and Chef Jason Oakley cooks up a storm in our kitchen. That is from watches to what to watch to Wagyu.
Doesn't get better than that. We'll be back after this. Hello again. And another Sunday tradition we have here on Studio One is to check in with our Ash and talk about this week's TV here on Dubai One.
Yeah, but this week, with so many amazing movies in the schedule, we thought we'd do something a bit different and focus on Ash's top 5 movie picks of the week. And she's here with us now. Thanks very much for taking time to see us.
Hello, guys.
Good to have you with us. Now, just before we get to the off, dmi.ae/Dubai One is where you can find the schedule. And that's why we've asked you to focus just on the flicks this week.
Exactly.
Starting with number 5.
Number 5 position, right? Okay. Number 5 position, we have the movie The Mexican, which plays out on the 30th of June at 9 p.m. So all you Brad Pitt fans out there, the movie, as we all know,
What about the
stars...
Julia Roberts fans as well?
Oh, yes, and Gene Hackman fans as well.
Oh,
So that's the star cast.
And James Gandolfini, the Sopranos guy. He has a very unusual role in this movie. I really liked it all around. Great
Right.
film.
The story follows Jerry Welbatch, played by Pitt, who works for a local mobster, Arnold Margulies, played by Hackman, and he has to go through Mexico to find an antique gun and smuggle it to the United States.
Yeah.
Now, this is not just any gun that we're talking about. It has a legendary history behind it, a curse involving its likelihood to misfire. And that's what makes the story extremely interesting. It also has another very prominent character, Samantha, Jerry's girlfriend, played by Julia Roberts, extremely loudmouthed. She's constantly nagging him for his lack of commitment as a boyfriend, and she hates his job. Basically, she's like any other girlfriend.
cool.
Lots of twists and turns
Yeah.
and an exciting end to the movie.
Exactly.
Thursday night, it's on.
Yep,
Enjoy it.
9 p.m. Moving on. Number 4 position, we have the movie Adaptation, which plays on the 26th of June at 9 p.m. Movie stars Nicolas Cage, Meryl Streep, and Chris Cooper. Now, this film is based on Susan Orlean's non-fictional book, The Orchid Thief, and the story is about a self-loathing writer, Charlie Kaufman, played by Nicolas Cage, who has been hired to do the screenplay of a movie based on this book. Now, as the movie goes on, he comes to realize that the story does not have a narrative, and that leads him to a serious condition called the writer's block.
Yeah.
Brilliant film, extremely intense if you like that kind of movies, has won several awards, Academy, Golden Globe, BAFTA, and is a must-watch. So here's a trailer.
Let's have a look.
Drum roll, please. I'm gonna be a screenwriter, like you. I'm putting in a chase sequence. So the killer flees on horseback, cops after them on a motorcycle. And it's like a battle between motors and horses, like technology versus horse.
Susan, we would really like to option this. You want to make it into a movie? I want to know what it feels like to care about something passionately. John LaRoche is a tall guy, sharply handsome.
The book has no story. There's no story. Make one up. Okay, we open with LaRoche. No, we open at the beginning of time. Okay, we open with LaRoche. Crazy white man. We open on Charlie Kaufman. Fat, bald, ugly, paces.
Brilliant film. Plays out tonight. Make sure you watch Ash's pick later on this evening. Let's move on. Well, pretty much the same sort of films, really, in terms of genre. Adaptation to Transformers.
Transformers, movie starring Shia LaBeouf, the lovely Megan Fox, and Josh Duhamel. The film is a great combination of computer animation and live action, directed by Michael Bay, produced by Steven Spielberg. You have every reason to watch it. The plot, I'm sure most of you know, an ancient struggle between the Decepticons and the Autobots, and Shia LaBeouf and Megan Fox on fire.
It is a fun movie to watch. Definitely keeps you at the edge of your seat.
Yeah.
That's your number 3 this evening. What's up to number 2 then?
We have Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix, which plays out on the 1st of July at 5 p.m. Movie stars Daniel Radcliffe, Emma Watson, Rupert Grint. Now, this is the 5th installment of the Harry Potter film series, and the story is about Harry Potter's 5th year at the Hogwarts, and the Ministry of Magic refuses to believe the return of Lord Voldemort. Yeah, that's what the
I
story
can't
is all
keep
about.
up with them. There's so many of them at the moment.
There's so
I
many
think there's
of them.
one more. The last one
Yeah, there are
should be
plenty of
premiering
them.
this July as well.
So if you're a Harry Potter fan, then this is a movie which you definitely shouldn't miss. Has won tons of awards and is a great film. Absolutely.
Okay, so Ash, what is pick number 1?
My pick of the week is John Q. Amazing movie which plays out on the 1st of July at 1 a.m. The movie stars Denzel Washington, Ray Liotta, and Robert Duvall. Now, John Quincy Archibald is a father whose son has recently been diagnosed with an enlarged heart condition, and he's not able to perform to have his son operated because his insurance company has refused to give him money. So, I mean, like any other desperate father, he decides to take things to the next level. So he takes a hospital full of patients as hostage until the authorities put his son's name down in the recipients list. So this is a movie which really has explored the father-son bonding and how much a desperate parent, to what extent he can go to save his only child's life.
And Denzel Washington is a phenomenal actor.
course,
He's
and
good in this.
He is, yeah. He's intense and he can capture that drama element so well.
We were asking a little, has he ever done a bad film, Denzel?
No, in fact,
Not that I
a
can
lot
think
of
of.
critics mentioned that his performance actually outstood the actual plot of the film. A lot of critics had to say that.
Okay, fair enough. Ash, as always, big thank you. Ash on movies this week. And thanks very much for all your input throughout the series as well. Season 1 comes to an end this Thursday, so look forward to seeing you in Season 2 with movies, TV, and much, much more.
Much more.
Until then, thanks very much indeed. Just a quick reminder, dmi.ae/Dubai1. That's where the schedule is for all of these movies. Thursday evening for the Mexican, tonight for adaptation. Transformers is also on Thursday, and then the final two, Harry Potter and John Q, on Friday.
It's time to announce now the winner of the
More
Nokia.
winners?
That's right. This one is a highly anticipated one.
This
The
is a big
Nokia
one.
E7 competition. People have been waiting a long time for this one. We launched it last Wednesday evening.
We did indeed. Your response to this prize was, well, to put it plainly, huge. That's why we decided to give you some extra time to enter. And thanks to all those that did. But now the time is upon us. The time to announce the winner. And it's about to be revealed. And I can now tell you the winner of the new Nokia E7 is... Milk it, Tom, a bit more. Thank you, Pierre. Enrico Urrequia. Well done to you, Enrico. You are winning the new Nokia E7.
Did you enjoy that moment, Tom? After the break, Chef Jason is in the kitchen preparing an heirloom tomato salad and Wagyu beef rolls.
We'll be right back.
Hi, welcome back to Studio One. Now we're in the kitchen with Chef Jason Oakley, the executive chef of Margot in Souk Al Bahar. And he's joining us for the first time. Welcome to Studio One.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, and what delicious treat are you making for us today?
We're going to do two treats, actually. The first treat, we're going to do something that you can do as a combination. You can do an heirloom tomato salad with Wagyu beef rolls as a nice lunch or a light dinner. Strange breakfast. You can switch it up a little bit.
You can enjoy it anytime
You
of
can
day.
have it pretty
Why
much
not?
anytime you want.
And
So
is this one of the items at Margot currently?
They are. Both of the items are on the menu. It's part of our summer menu. And we get these really nice tomatoes here. Okay, so we're going to show some different things. But basically, I think they're easy enough for you to attempt at home.
Nice.
But to be safe, just come see me and let me do it. Okay,
Let
it's
the
much
pro
easier.
handle
Keep your
it.
kitchen clean,
Yeah.
right? Okay, so what I'm going to show you, I'm going to do a few things here real quick. This is basically a grade 5 Wagyu beef, and what we're going to do is wrap some asparagus and some enoki mushrooms around it.
Jason, in short, for those out there that haven't heard about Wagyu before, just give us your take on the delight that is Wagyu beef.
Okay, what the delight of Wagyu beef is basically, if you can see right here, this is a really nice integration of fat to protein. Okay, so it's a really rich piece of meat. Not something you really want to eat every day, but you know, for a
special treat.
for a special occasion, it's quite nice, yeah.
But it makes the meat much more tender and soft and more enjoyable.
I think so. In moderation, everything is much more enjoyable. So basically what we're going to do here is just take this, season it nicely, and then just wrap it up.
Okay. And
Easy
just
enough.
salt and pepper.
Salt and pepper, little olive oil in the pan.
And could you actually eat it raw as well if you wanted?
I suppose you could.
Kind
Something to turn that on.
Oh,
Sure.
Okay.
Sounds
I need an
you out.
assistant in the kitchen. See,
Quick,
Let me
assistant in the
help
they
you
kitchen.
don't let me
Sabo
do too much
required
by
in the
myself.
kitchen.
You remember that magic button?
Exactly, and
So,
I
Chef,
practiced
just-
this a few times.
Well, as we do that, remind us what's gone into the, what's the in the middle, just to remind viewers. You've got the
We
asparagus.
just have a little bit
and
of asparagus and enoki mushrooms.
mushrooms.
Okay.
Readily available here?
Readily available. You can get this, and you can even get the meat pre-sliced in a place like Waitrose that they usually do for hot pots and things
Okay,
like
brilliant
that.
stuff.
So you
Okay,
have
so
about,
this
6
is getting
minutes
hot.
to bring it all together.
We're gonna do this one while that's getting warm.
Sure.
So as you look this way, when you see my pan about to go up in flames,
Sure,
let me
I'll
know,
let you know
and then
when
I'll go
it's
back.
all
Exactly.
hot and steamy over there.
So what we're going to do next is a little bit of an heirloom tomato salad, okay? Something light, especially when the temperatures go up. I like to do things that are a little bit colder, cool, refreshing. So all we're going to do is take these nice tomatoes and marinate them, and then just serve it with a horseradish whipped cream and some caviar.
And what is an heirloom tomato exactly?
All right. Well, there's a lot of different types of tomatoes. Basically, what I'm doing real quick is I'm just going to add some shallots, some basil, a touch of mustard, olive oil, sherry vinegar together.
Beautiful.
Marinate the tomatoes. But what is an heirloom tomato? It basically comes from a specific seed, okay? And you have a bunch of different ones. You have chocolate, green zebra, brandywine, yellow Romas. You get a bunch of different types of tomatoes.
They're beautiful, though.
Yeah, I like
Why
them.
don't you see them more often?
Well, it's a seasonal thing. So in the summertime, you do see them a fair bit.
But again, they'd be readily available around here? Would they down at your grocers?
They're down to the local grocers. I picked these up at the local grocers.
Wow, man.
Yeah.
And they're a lot more flavorful and hearty than a traditional.
Well, what I like to say is they actually taste like tomatoes. Where there's a lot of times you get tomatoes and they look like a tomato, but they don't necessarily taste like a tomato.
They're very watery.
So that's why I like these ones. They really will remind you of possibly where you grew up or, you know, different areas.
You have about 4 minutes, Chef.
Yep. Is my pan getting hot yet?
Seems to be. There's noise
Okay.
coming from there.
I hear it making noise.
Crackling.
All right, let's get these in the pan real quick, and then we'll assemble the tomato. All right,
There
we've
you
got
go.
some.
Now we're cooking.
Perfect.
A quick reminder, whilst that is going into the pan, your opportunity to win throughout the week right here on Studio One, our final week of Season 1. And Jason's recipe and ingredients is on the Facebook page right now as well.
And while Jason is plating up here, we wanted to announce the last couple of winners.
More winners?
More winners, yep. This evening we're giving away the 2-week passes to the Core Dance Academy. It's a wonderful prize, and the winner's name is Aria Anthony. Congratulations, and remember to email us your contact details so we can get you your prize. Back over to Chef Jason. What's happening in the kitchen?
Well, I'm trying to win some prizes. You guys give away really nice prizes
You
here.
have to watch to win.
Oh, I know. I work too much.
Yeah.
Okay, so basically what we have here is the horseradish tomato mousse.
Okay. How did you make that?
Very complicated. We took horseradish and whipped cream.
Oh,
Very simple, actually. It's something, like I said, you can attempt to do this kind of stuff at home. It's not
right.
too complicated. It looks kind of cute, but it's not too difficult.
No,
And then-
but it also has that gourmet element to it, you know?
Jason, I like the top chef tip there, though, with keeping a little bowl of hot water on the go.
Yeah. Real quick, what we're doing, we just keep a little bit of warm water over here.
Yeah.
It will kind of help the cream release from the spoon a little bit easier.
Okay.
So otherwise, people do struggle to try and get the cream off of the spoon.
Right. And it
So-
just slides right off.
Yeah,
Nice.
comes right off. So then we
Excellent.
just garnish with a little bit of chervil,
Bit of chervil on top.
and there we
I
go.
mean, that's a meal in itself. It's beautiful.
That's a meal
It
in
is.
itself,
It's
exactly.
gorgeous and so colorful and very seasonal.
Right.
Beautiful. So
Okay.
tell us about some of the other menu items down at Margot. How would you describe your menu?
I would describe the menu basically as French technique, French base, but we like to use a lot of local ingredients as much as possible. We like
Yeah.
to use things
Yeah.
that are fresh and bright and vibrant.
Right.
So we do a lot of different things. So we have a lot of really nice seafood, a fair amount.
One of the most stunning locations in the old downtown area as well. Perfect views of the fountain. Recently relaunched with a new menu as well. So check it out. And if this is anything to go by, we'll be down there in a flash. won't we,
Yes,
Sam?
this is one of our signature items
I'm
here.
already convinced.
This
Look
is
at this beautiful.
our Wagyu beef rolls.
Yeah.
The bottom is just basically a spicy chili mayonnaise. You can do whatever you would like. You can do, we used to do it with the miso sauce. You can do it with the garlic aioli. You can do it with a lot of things. So it's a very flexible dish.
Yeah.
And then we just garnish with a little bit of pea shoots here.
You make some beautiful dishes, Chef.
Okay.
I'm
Let me-
impressed with the
I'll put this
presentation
one in front of
already.
you.
Well, I'm going to dive into my heirlooms, if that's all right, because these look absolutely divine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry to ruin your beautiful creation here.
And
but
if you would like to, you can call this a very trendy cupcake as well. So
Yeah.
it's basically all the same.
Let's get all those little tastes on there.
Oh, wow. That beef is so tender, it literally melts in your mouth. That's fantastic. Tom, you want to do a switcheroo?
You know what?
Let's do a switch. I have to try
That
this
is
tomato salad.
the tomatoiest tomatoes I've tasted in a long, long time.
They're very nice. I really enjoy those, especially in the summertime. These are two of my favorite dishes to try and eat. And the caviar is not always, it's not necessary, but it always makes for a nice little touch. It's a little something extra.
No, it's
and the
it's a
salt
nice little...
complements the tomato, and the horseradish kind of goes with the caviar.
I'm liking this, Jason. I am liking it. I am a fan.
Good.
Well done, well done.
thank
Well,
you.
you're
Jason?
definitely welcome back to Studio One.
Why have we left it till the last week of the season to have you in here? What's going on here?
Oh, I don't know.
He's been a busy guy relaunching the restaurant. We're lucky we
We've been doing
grabbed
a lot
him
of
when
work
he
down
did.
there in the Souk
Talk
al-Bahar.
about
Yeah.
setting a benchmark. That is unbelievable. That is
Good.
very, very tasty. Thank you very much
Thank
indeed
you
for
very
being
much.
with us.
Well done. Thank you.
pleasure.
But that's all we have time for, unfortunately, this evening. Our many thanks to Chef Jason, of course, for creating this beautiful, beautiful masterpiece, to all of our guests this evening, and of course, for all of you for tuning in.
Now, listen, if you want to get in touch, our email is studio1@dmi.ae, and you can watch all our previous episodes, dmi.ae/Dubai1.
Two great movies for you tonight. That Adaptation with Nicolas Cage is at 9 p.m., followed by Music and Lyrics at 11.
Another good movie to look forward to. Studio One is back tomorrow night, 7:30. We've got jet ski safety for you and what you can and can't take on a plane this summer. Until then, have yourself a great evening, whatever you're doing, and good night.